For 20 years, the most powerful thing about the United States was the check it wrote so no one would touch its ships. America paid pirates to be left alone. Not for a year, for 20. And the bill came to almost a fifth of everything the young country earned.
This is History Parody Radio. Set the dial to the year 1801. You have been hearing about a strait in the news this month. Ships, a blockade, a fee to pass. This is the first time America fought that fight. And it is stranger than the headline.
Here is the problem nobody warns you about when you win your independence. The day America stopped being British, the British Navy stopped protecting American ships.
And out in the Mediterranean, 4 ports on the coast of North Africa had turned that protection into a business. Tripoli, Tunis, Algiers, Morocco, the Barbary States.
Their fleet seized merchant ships, chained the crews, and sold peace back to the countries they robbed. Pay us a yearly tribute, they said, and your ships sail. Refuse, and your sailors wear our irons.
So how did the birthplace of liberty answer a slave market? For a while, it paid.
1795. To free its captured sailors and buy quiet, the United States handed Algiers a sum that, with the yearly tribute, came close to a fifth of the entire federal budget. It bankrupted a navy that barely existed to pay men who had none.
One man had watched all of this from Paris and hated it. As minister to France, he had argued it was cheaper and more honest to fight than to pay. His name was Thomas Jefferson. John Adams had disagreed. Adams thought a poor country pays.
And then, in 1801, Jefferson became president. And the man who hated paying tribute got the bill.
Because the Pasha of Tripoli had read the new president exactly wrong.
Yusuf Karamanli wanted a raise. $225,000 up front, then tribute every year after. He had taken the throne of Tripoli by stepping over his own brothers, and he expected America to pay like everyone else.
Jefferson said no. So the Pasha declared war the old way. He sent men to the American consulate, and they cut down the flagpole. In Tripoli, that was the whole ceremony. The flag comes down, the war is on.
And Jefferson, the man who had spent his career warning against a standing military, sent a squadron of warships to the other side of the world without asking Congress for a declaration. The tribute hawk had become the war president in a single afternoon.
August 1st, 1801. The schooner Enterprise meets a Tripolitan corsair called, of all things, the Tripoli. 3 hours later, the corsair is a wreck, and the Enterprise has not lost a man.
And here is the catch that tells you how young this country was. The Enterprise could not keep the prize. Congress had never declared war. So under the rules, they could fight the ship, but not capture it. They threw its guns into the sea and let it limp home as a warning.
For 2 years, the war grinds on. A blockade, bombardments, nothing decisive. And then America hands Tripoli its greatest prize itself.
October 31st, 1803. The frigate Philadelphia, 36 guns, is chasing a blockade runner into Tripoli harbor. Her captain is William Bainbridge, and nobody on board has charted the reef.
She hits it at full sail and stops dead, tilted, stuck, her guns pointing at the sky and the sea, useless. And out of the harbor come the Pasha's gunboats.
Bainbridge tries everything, throws the cannon overboard, cuts down a mast. She will not float. And so, to keep 307 men from being slaughtered where they stood, he strikes the colors. The largest American warship in the Mediterranean surrenders without a real fight.
The crew is marched into the city and put to work as slaves. For the next 19 months, 300 Americans wake up in Tripoli.
And it gets worse. The tide comes in, and the harbor lifts the Philadelphia right off the reef. The Tripolitans float her, patch her, and anchor her under the guns of the castle. America's best frigate is now a Tripolitan warship, pointed at America.
And the Pasha names his new price for the prisoners, $2 million. He is no longer negotiating tribute. He is holding a country hostage. So a 25-year-old lieutenant asks permission to steal it back or burn it trying.
His name is Stephen Decatur. The plan is insane. You cannot fight the Philadelphia out of that harbor. So you do not fight her out. You sail in, take her, and set her on fire under the enemy's own cannon.
February 16th, 1804. A small captured ketch, renamed the Intrepid, drifts toward the harbor mouth, looking like a battered merchant ship out of Malta. Below her deck, 74 men lie flat in the dark, holding their breath.
A Sicilian pilot who speaks the local tongue calls up to the guards on the Philadelphia, says they have lost their anchors in the storm, asks to tie up alongside for the night. The guards believe him. They let the fire come to them.
The moment the ropes touch, Decatur is over the rail. His men pour up out of the dark. In minutes, the deck is theirs. And then, torches. They cannot sail her, so they burn her to the waterline where she floats.
The whole harbor wakes up firing. Cannon from the castle, from the shore, from every gunboat. Decatur's men row out through the burning water, and they lose exactly no one. One man wounded, not a single American killed.
They say the greatest sailor alive heard about it in the Mediterranean and called it the most bold and daring act of the age. They say his name was Nelson. Whether he said it or not, the whole Navy believed he did. That is how big this got.
That summer, the squadron pounds Tripoli again and again under Commodore Preble. Congress strikes a medal. For the first time, the little American Navy is not paying anyone. It is frightening people.
But the harbor takes its price. In a gunboat fight, a Tripolitan captain fakes surrender, then kills Decatur's younger brother, James. Stephen goes across onto the enemy deck to find the man himself.
It ends hand to hand on a pitching deck, and only one of them walks off it. This is not a movie. The hero comes home having killed a man for his brother.
And the Intrepid, the little ship that burned the Philadelphia, is packed with powder to be sent into the harbor as a bomb. She explodes early. All 13 men aboard die in the blast. The war has stopped being clean. So one American decides the only way to beat the Pasha is to replace him.
His name is William Eaton, and his idea is pure nerve. The Pasha has an older brother, Hammett, who he shoved off the throne. Eaton will find that brother, put an army behind him, and march him home to take the crown.
There is one problem. He has to build the army out of nothing in Egypt and then cross 500 miles of desert to reach Tripoli by land. Nobody has ever attacked these ports from the desert side. That is exactly why he tries it.
He gathers a few hundred hired men, Greeks, Arabs, adventurers who trust no one, least of all each other. And with them, 8 United States Marines, under a lieutenant named Presley O'Bannon.
500 miles. No water they can count on. The mercenaries mutiny over food twice and turn their guns on Eaton in his own camp. The 8 Marines are the only thing holding the column together.
April 27th, 1805. They come out of the desert at the city of Derna with 3 American ships offshore to hammer the walls. And they take it by storm.
And Lieutenant O'Bannon raises the American flag over Derna. It is the first time in history the flag of the United States flies over a fortress on the far side of an ocean. Taken by force on foreign ground.
That is the line the Marines still sing. To the shores of Tripoli. It is not poetry. 8 men actually walked there. And now Eaton looks east at the road to Tripoli itself and gets ready to finish it.
And that is exactly when the diplomats end the war over his head.
June 1805. A treaty. The United States pays $60,000 once to ransom the Philadelphia prisoners. And the yearly tribute to Tripoli ends. After 20 years, America stops paying that port to be left alone.
But the deal leaves the Pasha Yusuf sitting on his throne. The brother Eaton, marched across a desert to crown Hamet, is quietly abandoned. He is handed back his family and a small pension and told to go home.
Eaton never forgives it. He had the man, the army, and the road, and Washington traded it all for a signature and $60,000. The soldier wins the battle. The treaty decides what it was worth. Remember that. It is the whole quarrel between the legend and the ledger.
And the truth is, the racket did not die that day. Algiers and Tunis went right on collecting. It took a second war, 1815, Decatur again, this time with a fleet at his back, to finally end American tribute for good.
When Decatur came home from that one, someone raised a toast that America still half remembers and half argues about. Our country, may she always be right, but our country, right or wrong. He had earned the right to say it. He had stopped paying for the wrong.
So here is the whole thing, in 2 numbers. $1 million paid over 20 years to keep pirates off American ships, ended by $60,000, 1 burned frigate, and 8 Marines who crossed a desert nobody thought they could cross. There is a strait in the news again this month. Ships, a blockade, a price to pass. The first time America argued about who may sail and at what cost, it was 200 years ago, against 4 ports it once paid to survive. History Parody Radio. Some of it really happened this way. Subscribe, and we will stand in the next room.